Hey, buddy.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel.
What is going on? I am feeling all right. And yesterday and earlier today, I was not feeling all right. And there was a definite shift in my mindset after doing a 20-minute breathwork session off of just a YouTube video. That literally has me and has the universe conspiring about me, and the universe are conspiring about how I am right where I need to be and how I don't need to be scrambling and feeling distress or despair is the word I was looking for. And even consciously, as I say that, I'm like, really though? And I was working DoorDash earlier, and I needed to go get gas. And then the gas station I pulled into was closed. And in Oregon, you can't pump your own gas. So the employees went home at 6 for some reason. So I couldn't even pump the gas. And I wasn't getting any orders, which the only reason I'm out in my car is to deliver orders of food so that I can make money. And that wasn't happening. And I need to get gas in order to keep doing that. And that wasn't happening. And I came over here. I have a little less than a quarter of a tank. This is just where I'm at. I feel like over the past month or two, I'm getting distracted. This stuff has been happening today. And I felt yesterday like, what the fuck am I doing? I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be delivering food to pay my bills. I do want to be talking to you. If that could pay my bills, and when that can help me to pay my bills, that will be incredibly dope. But in order for that to ever happen, I have to show up here. Money or not. And so I'm sitting in this parking lot just 20 minutes ago, scrolling on TikTok. I'm seeing videos of a guy building a shelter in the woods where it's on time lapse, and it's showing him digging out this thing and chopping down the trees and all this stuff. And then I'm seeing TikTok. But I see this video of basically someone quoting a video of someone quoting a video of a guy quoting someone who said, if you record a podcast every day and publish it every day for 365 days, you will no longer have to worry about money. Now, I am stressed out about money right now. And I'm like, my stress and my fear that if I don't grind and put myself in the driver's seat of this car to rack up $5 by $10 all day, that I'm not ever going to be able to afford anything that I want, let alone the bare minimum of what's required of me. So I see this video, and it's 4 levels deep of people saying this is cool. So I go find the 4 different levels back to the original quoted video of the guy who's saying he did that. He did that. 365 days, publish. And if you're watching this, you may well know, and I'm now uploading this to YouTube, that I do in fact have a podcast. And a year and 2 months ago, I did in fact record a podcast for 35 days straight. So this is hitting me right in my third eye, or hitting me square in my heart of being like, I've almost fucking worked DoorDash every day for months and months, maybe not, but I feel more drawn to that because and I can recognize this, I'm living in a scarcity mindset right now. I really am. And I'm sitting in a Ross Dress for Less parking lot, so sorry about the car noise. But when creativity strikes me, or I guess when motivation strikes me, or when Ikigai strikes me, and this was one of the things in the handful of videos about podcasting every day, is that Ikigai, and I might not quote this because I'm just doing this from memory, but it's where the thing that you love to do intersects with the thing that people need, intersects with the thing that you're good at, intersects with a thing that you can get paid for. Ikigai, a Japanese concept of finding your thing. There's not a English word to talk about that quadruple Venn diagram. And so now I'm thinking about how this is like a quadruple Venn diagram of these TikTok videos, of these other individual creators who are saying, I want to fucking do this, or at least I'm attracted to the idea of this, right? And I'm also attracted to the idea of this because I'm now currently like 20 days into recording a 3-4 minute daily Wordle video. And I haven't done the one for today, and the past few days it's felt a little bit stressful, so I've been really thinking about how, man, I don't actually know if that's what I want to be doing. But one of the things that has really helped me is that my little sister loves watching me on my Wordle videos. Yesterday she texted me at like 5 p.m. and was like, yo, where's the daily Wordle video? And I had yet to edit it, and I quickly put it together and posted it. And I probably would have done so if she hadn't have texted me, but I'm glad she did. And in the same way, when I post a podcast episode, I recognize, yo, there are people who listen to shit that comes up on their podcast feed. Because oftentimes it's hard to go into explore mode and be like, okay, what's a new podcast that I want to search out and figure out, okay, which first episode of this podcast do I want to check out to see if it's right for me? God damn it, are you serious? But again, it feels like this car literally pulled up right next to me. But it does feel like as I get close to the gem, right, or to the actions that I can take that help feed my soul and help remind me why I'm excited about life, is when the loud car is going to drive by. Bye, guys. Like, and so I think about how these people on TikTok, none of whom I remember their names or anything. Yo, This is going to distract the fuck out of me. Let me just put up my window real quick. And here's the thing, also. My fear that anything I do is going to be unlistenable if I have moments where I'm distracted. I put myself in a Ross Dress for Less parking lot. There are lots of folks who will be around here. Lots of people who interact with this huge parking lot in a similar way to what I'm doing, which is I'm not giving a fuck that this is a place to go find cheap clothes, but I'm looking at it as a spot that had the nice little shade right here where the sun is still hitting me, but it's not hitting my eyes. And as long as the sun's not hitting my eyes, I'm feeling good. And so this Ikigai quadruple Venn diagram, in my soul, I know that it's podcasting. I know that that it is long form content, whether you're watching me here or listening to me there. But I really feel like I'm clashing heads with what I was saying at the beginning, which is my stress about needing to prioritize paying my bills, dude. And in doing so, deprioritizing my Ikigai. And I truly do envision this as like, I just gotta switch around the prioritization. Because right now, I'm going to do both. I'm going to podcast and I'm going to DoorDash. Shout out to my employer, who has been a great employer for me in the time of COVID. This is the only thing that I've made money on officially as a contracted employee or independent contractor, blah, 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 since COVID started. And I think in a way, I look at this as being a low stress, no schedule enough thing for me now to allow me the space to shoot my arrow and my many arrows trying to hit the center of that quadruple Venn diagram. And there's been a lot of jobs that I've had where I have felt so stressed by the required hours and the way that my day, are generally, most jobs, your work day is the centerpiece of how you live life during that calendar day. And for me, doing this independent contractor gig economy shit, it allows me to take that centering and make it my own. And so without intention, what often ends up becoming centered is just me being like, watch a YouTube video, scroll on my YouTube feed to find something interesting, go on TikTok, until I feel the gnawing stress in the back of my head telling me, kind of waking me up from that consumption mentality, telling me, this is not a good use of your time. If you're not going to be productive, get on the fucking streets and make some money. And in the past month since I moved to Portland, I have noticed that new house, new city, new climate, new roommates around me every day. And that has been an opportunity to revamp without intention. Just the circumstances of environment have allowed me to resituate how I set up my life. And there doesn't have to be a central thing in the way I want to live right now. But in a way, I've been craving that. I've been craving having a 9 to 5 because the idea of that makes me feel like, well, then I'm not going to be burdened by having to choose work for all of those 8 hours. And I think because when I show up, every single time I drop off an order, I have a choice to be like, do I want to keep going? And tonight, I didn't. The cards lined up, the gas, I lost my wind out of my sails. I'm feeling like, God, I'm not making enough money right now. Oftentimes the guilt comes in and tells me, well, dude, if you're not making money right now and you're frustrated about that, the last thing you should do is to stop working and go home, because then that guarantees that you're not going to make any more money. And what I've found myself doing in the past month, let's say, I moved here July 1st, is wanting to prioritize taking care of myself, doing things that I like first as a priority, to say, let me stretch my body. Because one of the things that has me falling out of love with DoorDash is the fact that I have to be in my car all the time, and it takes a toll on my body. And I have a hard time getting myself to a place where I'm going to set down my phone and, well, actually, what I often need to do is shift my attention on my phone from consuming social media to searching out a yoga routine, because I haven't really done enough stretching or yoga to, off the top of my head, know what's going to help my body feel a little bit better. What's going to be helping me heal and helping the longevity of my entire bodily muscular system. And I can even remember now vividly in my mind, because it has been so rare, that one night, an hour before bed, I felt called and had the yoga mat out and looked up a 20-minute stretching, and many of those stretches are now in my mind. That was maybe 3 weeks ago. And then I get so unsure. This has been my same problem with feeling so uncomfortable with the idea, and then the times when I have gone to the gym. I don't know what to do. And it's often the not having a real sense of what I'm going to do when I get to the place where things are to be done that prevents me from going to a place, whether physical or in my head, to a place where things get done. Back to podcasting every day for 365 days. Do I feel incredibly intimidated by that? Hell yeah. It feels like, bro, give yourself some fucking leeway. But at the same time, do I recognize that also doing something like, do I want to do yoga? Or no, not yoga. Do I want to stretch every day for the next 365 days? Yes, I do, in fact. I do want to stretch every day. And so here's where we get into gem territory, where I just had this imagination, this vision in my head of me in the corner of this podcast, right above my head, right over here, showing me doing my stretching silently above the podcast. Being like, I'm going to podcast every day. I'm going to stretch every day. Here they are. What's so hard about that, I say? Because I'm certainly going to live every day. And I certainly brush my teeth and floss my teeth every single night. Now, I have been a lifelong non-flosser. And recently, I had a lot of cavities. I have TMJ, which is tightness in the jaw, clenching, chronic clenching. I grind my teeth in my sleep. I have to wear a nighttime mouth guard. And all of these factors have made my teeth not a comfortable thing for me. Even just earlier, I had room temperature, car temperature watermelon, and it was sensitive on my teeth. I cannot take a bite into a watermelon straight out of the fridge. That's just, I've ditched ice cream, no slushies. My teeth are a huge source of shame for me because I feel like I've been doing something wrong. And I recently had to pay like fucking $2,000, $2,500 to get my teeth fixed, get my cavities filled, get a new mouth guard. And I was lucky enough that I was coming off of an incredibly generous Christmas gift of a couple $1,000s from my grandfather. And I had the funds to be able to, I had the funds plus my credit card to afford to take care of my teeth, because even to just cover what my dental insurance wouldn't cover. I have a really sensitive molar right now that I'm trying to ignore because I can't afford to get a root canal, and I don't want to get a root canal. I want to try and tackle natural remedies for helping to remineralize or whatever shit. I don't even know. But, you know, over the past 5 months, I've changed the way I eat because this tooth is incredibly sensitive. And I even went into the dentist for a checkup on it, and they had me do a little bite test, and it was like crazy. And she put cold on it, and I was like, oh, and she's like, yeah, that's gonna need to be root canaled. And I'm like, yeah, that's what a dentist is gonna say. But I feel like there's an opportunity here, right? Like, I know that if I had the money to pay for just a root canal right now, that I would have it done. Back to Ikigai is that I feel like, well, how the hell can I prioritize doing a podcast every day when I need to prioritize making as much money as I can because I got shit to pay for? Even from our move early July, I still owe hundreds of dollars to my roommates that they're cool of me paying them back when I can. And I feel guilt and I feel shame that I can't and I haven't yet. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, y'all, I gotta make rent before I can pay you back, dog. Like, so when I find myself sitting on my phone, not out on the streets making money, I feel like, dude, how can I do anything else? And when I feel that way about myself, when I feel shame and when I feel embarrassed, when I feel like, God, I wish I had another job, and how can I get another job? And then I say, well, how can I spend all this time looking for another job? I got to go to work. That energy, money doesn't flow to that energy. Money does not flow to that energy. I swear to God. It just doesn't. And in the first couple of weeks when I lived here, I did a few podcasts in the mornings. I would make myself a nice cup of coffee, or I'm drinking a golden milk latte from a golden milk latte powder recently. Mix it in with oat milk. When I take the time and I'm not on my phone unless I'm playing Wordle and recording it to make a video, when I take 3 minutes to do some cat cows just on the ground, when I make myself a delicious, hearty breakfast, and then I do something, and then I'm like, all right, let's go hit the streets. Let's go DoorDash. Then the money flows to me, right? This is my experience, but I really feel like whatever, I don't want to talk too much about high vibe or low vibe. I don't really think that's a good way to think about things, but I think it's about, there is a frequency at which I am vibrating. When I wake up, go take a poop, I'm on TikTok, and then everything else I'm doing, I'm just like, it's this feeling that's like remembering back in, say, like 2016, where it was kind of the first time when I was like living by myself, and I would do my laundry, and on my walk down to the laundry room of my apartment building, I would turn on my headphones. I was watching The Office. I would take it. I would walk down from the 3rd floor to the basement, watching The Office in my hand. I would set it on top of the dryer as I unloaded my stuff, grab it, put it on top of the clothes as I picked up my bin, watch it and listen to it back up to my bedroom. Then I would untake out my headphones, go plug my phone over to the charger, switch back over to my computer that was connected to my speaker as I would fold my clothes. Then I would need to go over to my little closet over by my door. So then I would pause it on the computer, take up my phone, pick up The Office back on my phone, walk it over to my little inset closet area, put my phone on the top of the dresser while I put my folded clothes away and my hanging clothes, pause it there, walk back over, resume on my computer, sit down, turn on my TV right next to my computer to start playing video games while I continued watching The Office, then go put in food while I was still watching, and just like, bro. And I was fucking smoking blunts the whole time too. Shout out to me right now. I'm officially 1 month, 4 days sober off of weed, very intentionally, living in Portland where there's dispensaries every couple blocks. And I haven't walked into a dispensary one time since we moved here. And I'm just accessing clarity, dude. Like, that's another thing about May 2021, when I was recording a podcast every day, is that I was getting high before almost every episode. And that's not inherently bad, right? But it just is something notable and something that very evidently changes my consciousness in a way that, as I try to focus on building up a life that I love, that I'm good at, that can help others, and that I can get paid for, being high getting stoned, using that as a type of escape, feeling like I wasn't trying to escape my life necessarily. My story about my love for weed was that I just like to be high. Once I get high, the more I want to keep getting high all the way until bed. So if I start smoking early, I'm smoking all day. If I start smoking in the afternoon, I'm smoking all night. If I start smoking at night, then I usually feel like I want to start smoking in the morning when I wake up. And I wasn't feeling like I wanted to escape my life, but I was trying to escape a lot of conscious awareness about my chronic dis-ease, my unhappiness with the way things are, and my shame about having been the person who let my life get this bad. I don't want to think about that. And that leads to not checking my bank account. That leads to not checking out my student loan website, missing payments, getting over withdrawn, spending $60 on 2 days worth of weed. $60? Smoking weed for 2 days? That was easy peasy, bro. Also, coming here, I know to Portland, I know why I'm here. I'm here because with my partner Lane and with our friends, we consciously made the choice. Hey, let's put ourselves on the hook in this place that we feel like is going to help us blossom and help us have access to more community and more connection and more art and more creativity, and in a home where we have a gorgeous backyard and a big living space and awesome bedrooms and a great neighborhood and Trader Joe's and Target within walking distance. Like, that shit is nice, dude. Back when I lived in that apartment where I was watching The Office every single moment of my waking life, not just that, but that's just a prime example. I also lived on the same block as a 7-Eleven, and the closest grocery store, I was downtown, so the closest grocery store was, a 5-minute drive. Y'all know I lived out of that 7-Eleven. And I'm going to say it right now. I'm about to go find a rice cooker or a rice cooker / steamer somewhere, because I know how much that piece of equipment and just the way that, even though cooking rice on the stove, guys, it's easy. Fucking get the water ratio, turn that shit up, let it boil for a couple minutes, turn it down, put the lid on, let it simmer and steam for 15 minutes, and then turn it off, let it set in its steam for another few minutes. Like, boom, perfect rice. But I can put some rice in there. I don't gotta watch it. I can put the steamer thing, I can steam some fresh veggies, don't gotta watch it. Come over, deal myself out. Like, even just that, it's like, what do I actually want to invest in? Right? I spent so much money on weed, I could have bought a fucking 1,000 rice cooker steamers. That shit is in my lungs, dude. That's not in my life anymore. And I ain't gotta feel shame about that. I just gotta look, today's the day that exists. Today's the day when I can stamp my awareness into time and say, here's what it is. I don't have a rice cooker right now. I want one. Just like in the way that Having an air fryer is really great. The crispiest tots you can imagine. Like 3 times as fast as the conventional oven. It doesn't have to heat up as much, right? An air fryer is just a tiny convection oven, but the tininess of an air fryer makes it very fast and very compact and prime for crispy goods. In the same way that now having the air fryer makes it so much easier to throw in some chicken nuggies, vegan chicken nuggies, throw in some tots. I threw in some frozen falafel bites the other night. Set myself up with some smashed avocado, some cilantro jalapeno hummus, some Trader Joe's Zhoug sauce, Z-H-O-U-G, check it out. Today's suggestion, pardon me, and then heated up a little bit of vegan nacho cheese dip and kind of just had this smorgasbord of dippables for my air-fried frozen falafel. And that's not my point, but I'm bragging, okay? Because that shit was dope. But it makes it easy. It makes it an easy thing to do. I want rice and steamed veggies to be on my counter, available to me with the same level of ease, because I know how much I value that. I think a lot of us probably struggle with this right now, is that it feels like it takes too much time on most days to put together and cook an awesome meal for myself or for ourselves, right? Like, damn, how did this happen? You know, I'm over here like looking at my mom being like, damn, this, like, we had dinner every fucking night growing up. Like, that was never an issue. Sometimes it would be leftovers, but most nights she whipped something up. And that takes planning. You know, when I look at recipes, or, you know, even something like a cool cookbook that has a bunch of stuff that I know I would love to make for myself, the planning, all the little stuff, do I have cilantro right now? No. Right? I'm like, Trader Joe's is walkable from my apartment. Like, I've really realized in the past couple of days that I am really a cynic, and that I somehow like get off on being cynical about stuff and being like, well, it probably sucks. Being like, well, great. And I think in some ways, trying to kind of look at that to be more self-aware, I see that there's a level of control that I give myself when I say, hey, like, are you sure this isn't gonna go wrong? Like, but that's my way right now of looking out for myself. I'm trying to imagine the going wrongness of what's in front of me as a way to keep myself safe. Or to save myself the effort or the time. It's really coming to light now because I'm often doing it with the people in my life, and they're seeing me throw that cynical sheet over what they haven't yet thought of in that way. And I'm very scared of uploading this podcast and saying day 1 of 365. Because you know what? I did that last May. I did it. And I gave up on that. Because I didn't know why I wanted to do it. You know? And in the same way that now, today, when I had a morning, did a few things, mostly was on my phone, talked to Lane, made myself a delicious potato onion hash, went on a walk, went to the grocery store, watched some stuff, sat down with my roommates, watched an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, season 10, episode 1, just getting into it, which wasn't something that I was like seeking out, but it was on and I enjoy it. And I painted my nails while I was watching that, so it felt like I wasn't just sitting there being, I was gonna say a lazy bones, but look, y'all, it's okay to fucking watch TV. Like, it's okay to do anything. But, it's okay that I didn't go to work during all that time and I left at 6 p.m. to go do the dinner shift. But when I did breath work, when I'm doing all this stuff, and in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, but I gotta go to work, I'm imagining that stress of being like, yo, let me just enjoy my life. Like, let me take care of myself a little bit before, and being kind to myself and being loving to myself is at the core of it all. I swear to God, I become the critic, the cynic, the why am I like this? The why did I do this? The why am I not good enough? The why am I wasting my life? Why am I wasting my time? Pa. And setting out on a journey to record a podcast every day makes me feel like in 10 days, I'm going to be like, oh God, I got a podcast. But guess what? Talking this out right now in the past 42 minutes, it's been 42 minutes. Holy shit. I feel so much closer to myself, and I hope you, dear listener, feel closer to me as well. And feel that this commentary on my experience of being so frustrated and yet knowing that that's not who I am. That's not how it actually is. I can get so zeroed in on the wrongness of what I see in front of me. And I do that so much that it has fallen out of my vision so often to remember to actively love myself. I gotta say it out loud these days because of how quick on the trigger I am to be wagging a finger at myself for not being what I want myself to be. I am perfect as I am. I am so powerful. My abilities, my love, my energy, my spirit shines. And I know this to be true, but I'm the one dulling it down. I'm the one hiding my light under the motherfucking bushel basket. I'm the culprit. And it's just like, what I think I need to do is to slap my hand away and say, don't dim yourself. But what I need to do is to lay my hand on top of my other hand, say, baby, why are you picking up that basket right now? Can't you see that what you really want to do is that you really want to nurture that flame? I can see it. It's right there. It's right in front of me. Tender, beautiful, epic, strong, bright. And I don't have to do anything else. You know? But I gotta not. And there's a many multitude of aspects of my own self, the way that I interact with myself, the way I view myself, that over the years have been tamped down. I think still to this day, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff that feels like I don't want other people to know it. And I don't like to know it. I like to binge on that stuff. That's how it was with my sexuality for a long time. That I would just, I'd go on a Saturday afternoon to evening binge of my homosexuality. And then the other 6 days of the week, I threw that shit in the fucking dumpster, dude. I threw a lot of shit in the dumpster out of shame. And then 5 days later, I'm buying it again. Dildos, sex toys, panties, all this stuff that felt like, this isn't right, Wes. But it is right. I'm allowed. And, it feels like, what I just thought to say is that, like, I have a long way to go to fully letting all of myself out from under that bushel basket. But, like, I'm doing fine. Like, there's not anything that's too much, And like also, I think sometimes one of the things that I'm thinking about in regards to kind of like sex shame and sexual orientation, and at least for me, that's one of the big things that has always existed right alongside the shame realm, is that, and something that I'm very resistant to actually acknowledging and accepting, is that now, because, and who's to say, but I can, in the way that I think about my sexuality and my expression of my gender and my desire for femininity and things of that nature, like, my experience of that has been with the shame. And now the shame is hot to me. The reason I'm getting into this is because what's right parallel next to that is my scarcity mindset, my being and feeling poor, all of my adult life. And that part of me that is like unwilling to recognize that, the part of me that thinks I shouldn't be doing sex with men, the sex with men is made more intense in my experience because it's tied up with the shame. The me being like, fuck, I'm poor, is tied up with the fact that do I like being poor? Do I like struggling with money? Like, deep down, unconscious, subconscious, because who in their right mind would like being poor? Well, exactly. This is the culture we live in, right? There's a reason that nuns, monks take a vow of poverty. You do not need money to be happy. But in our capitalistic culture, if you are to admit that you like not having more than you need, you're insane. And so, in the same way that I had to, and I have, and I'm still learning to, take my sexual desires and the pleasure that I seek out from under the bushel basket and say, this is okay. Is there also a love of scarcity that I have hidden so deeply within me that I can't recognize it, and so I constantly feel like every day of my life I'm stressed as fuck because where's my next paycheck coming from? Is there something there available for me to take off to say, I like struggling with money? I don't know any other way. Again, another aspect of what I liked, is it these same guys? Another aspect of what I liked about getting high every day was that I didn't give a fuck about money. When I get high, I'm going to order the DoorDash. And the only reason I put that in this category is because, it's like not high. I'm like, yeah, Wes, let's not spend $30 on a fast food meal for delivery because you just want to sit and play your game and have your food show up at your doorstep, right? Why was I obsessed with watching The Office so much? Well, I didn't want to think about my own shit. I didn't show up. I didn't do a podcast. I didn't stretch my body. It was just like, I'm just putting pleasure in front of my face because that's like the only thing that works to distract me from thinking about uncomfortable feelings. Boom. Damn. And so I just had another thought about the fact that this is video and the fact that this is, hey, there are, I'm sure, many bite-sized snippets of this 53 minutes that I could cut out and upload to TikTok, upload to anywhere, upload to Instagram. Why do I want to do that? Well, because I know that there are a hell of a lot more people who are going to scroll by, watch a 30-second Instagram snippet of this before they would click on Stream of Consciouswes in their podcast app. And I like that. And I know that there's, shit. What am I trying to say? I don't have to commit to anything. Hey, I'm Wes. I want to record a podcast every day. But you know what else I wanted to do every day? I wanted to take a photo of myself so I could have one of those photos of myself aging and growing and my different hair and my facial hair and not all this stuff. And I haven't. So when I forget to do it for 3 days, is that the thing that's going to make me be like, fuck it? No, because I still want to do that. And after I get off of this podcast, I will do that. I'm going to take my fucking picture. And then I'm going to go home and I'm going to post this episode to the Stream of Consciouswes feed. I don't remember what episode this is, but you'll figure it out. You already know by the time you're nearing the end of this podcast. What else do I want to do? I want to freestyle. I want to do a lot of stuff. So I want to record 365 podcasts. Whether or not they come every single day, who cares? But I'm going to commit to doing 365 podcasts. Because that's a hell of a lot of talking. And that's a hell of a lot of me using my phone as a mirror to talk my shit out. Because there is not many other places, times, conversations with people where I would allow myself to be this honest, where I'd allow myself the time to be this articulate about whatever comes to my mind, and where I would allow myself to build the space for which people can gather around this content. So shout out to you for helping me figure out my shit by being a set of ears. You know? I want to fucking put ads on this podcast. But that shit ain't gonna happen if I don't do it. Why do I want ads? Well, because I want to make money, bro. And I want to make a Patreon. Stream of Consciouswes Patreon for the podcast. I want to do tarot readings. Book me for a tarot reading. If you made it this far in the podcast and you would at all be interested in hearing me give you a 30-minute tarot reading, fucking hit me up. How do people know this if I'm not, right? Ikigai. So this is the day. And I've said this on many days of my life. But all of those days have been true to me. Day 1, August 10th, 2022. Welcome to Stream of Consciouswes. This is the real shit. This is the stream that is available to us every day, if we so choose. Because this requires no planning. This requires no mic setup. I'm in my car at a Ross Dress for Less with loud-ass cars all around me. But I'm louder. Connections are made face to face. That's why this is on video. That's the shit. This is the shit, yeah. Yeah. Thank you for listening. 59 minutes. And we Gucci. Our delicious suggestion of the day is zhug sauce from Trader Joe's. Lane and I have been telling ourselves we could make this, and I totally believe we could, but we don't, because again, it's like I could make myself like a veggie curry, and I could make rice, and I could saute the vegetables and get the curry, and I get the coconut milk, and but when I stick that frozen vegan tiki masala in the microwave or the toaster oven or whatever, it's just, we can give ourselves what we want while also setting ourselves up to create what we want. I'm excited because soon I will come to you and we will together rejoice when I acquire a rice steamer / cooker. Cooker / steamer? Steamer / cooker. And we'll do our thing. I'll do my thing, and you can hear about it if you want. That's what the podcast is. That's what I'm here to do. That's why you listen to me. I'm Wes, and I'm that dude. I'm Wes, and I'm that dude. I know what you're listening to. It's the stream of conscious Wes. 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 Yeah. Peace, love, and catch you on the next stream. Mwah. Love you.